Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm gonna do a classic rock reaction. This is Led Zeppelin, man. Led Zeppelin, Houses of the Holy. We are at a track called Jamaica, and I was told by so many of you that, hey, man, this is one of those songs that really shows their diversity. This has taken a serious left turn. You may like it or you may not like it. It's one of those toss-up songs, and we'll see if you do like it. It'll be interesting. So you guys got me all hyped up for this song, man, and you told me that it's got a reggae beat. So hey, I'm in. Let's check it out, man. Led Zeppelin, Jamaica. Let's get it. Listen to that nice rolling bass.
When I read the letter you wrote me, you made me mad. But when I read the words that it told me, you made me sad. But I still love you so, I can't let you go. I love you.
This guy's vocals slays me every time.
You hurt me to my soul. You hurt me to my soul. Darling, please don't go. When I read the letter you sent me,
How great is John?
when I read the news that it broke me, made me sad. But I still love you so, and I can't let you go. I love you. Ooh, baby, I love you.
It's got that Jamaican twang, signature sound in the guitar playing. Well done. Okay. Jamaica. Holy hell. Man. You talk about variety, you talk about diversity, you talk about approaching the topic of rock and roll from left field and taking it beyond. Yo, you only need to listen to a song like this. Damn, these lads, man. The first thing, there's a couple of things just bursting in my brain. The first thing, the very, very first thing I'm going to say about this song is, this is a great, great, great representation of the flexibility, the diversity and talent and range, vision and creativity that a group like Led Zeppelin can bring about. How many artists wish that they had this vast array of talent, resources, information to draw from, whereby they can drop a very, very unique and distinct track such as this. How many artists wish they had that? Regardless of whether or not you like this song, what it's doing for me first and foremost is showcasing their range, how far reaching it is. I mean, damn, these brothers can go from blues, hard rock, folk, reggae obviously, touch on metal, hard rock, I'm being told even country, jazz, I don't know, nothing jazzy comes to mind, but I'm only halfway through their catalog. Man, if my pops can sit down and embrace their music as blues, man, that is really, really saying something. Just for them being able to cover blues, but then they go into these other areas. And like I said, you don't even have to like this damn song, but you've got to appreciate the diversity of their creative talent. Let's break it down, man. Every single member in this group on this track was shining, sparkling, from the drums to that wicked, beautiful rolling bass line. Arguably, that bass line from John Paul Jones carries this entire song. Right on its heels would be the drums, of course. And then, of course, it's a toss-up between the great, excellent guitaring and the vocals of Robert Plant, but all of them shined as a unit. And then, of course, together, collectively, they're this great force. But you've got to give it up to their individual talents, and then, of course, together, collectively, to create such a great song. Now, it's a great song to me. I know that many of you in the comment sections were saying to me stuff like, well, if you don't really like the crunch, then you might not like Jamaica, because, for whatever reasons. I was given a variety of reasons. Well, look, first off, I like the crunch, but not enough to warrant a reaction. Everything about the crunch is great, with only one slight small exception. There's just a few too many ahs and ohs that took me out of it, and it just, in my mind, just didn't justify a reaction. But where it comes to their creativity, their talent, their diversity, the presence of their signature Led Zeppelin sound, the crunch basically had every single thing in it to make it a great song. If you take out one or two ands and ohs, all in my mind, now it's a great song. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one or two little notches away from being a very, very excellent Led Zeppelin song, in my opinion. And that's what I gotta say about the crunch. I'm not going to notice those ands and ohs if I'm jamming to it, if I'm at a party and I'm dancing to it. Just sitting here like this, where I'm taking in pretty much everything, that's the difference right there where the crunch is concerned. I know it's still a little bit of a sore spot for some of you. But hey, you know what I'm saying? That's just me. But let's get back to this song. The second thing about this song that I gotta say is it threw me off for the first minute, because when a lot of you were saying to me in the comments, hey man, this next song coming up is different, it's got a reggae beat, I was thinking of a different song. I was expecting polyphonic. A couple of months ago, I was taking some notes and I was doing a reaction to a polyphonic presentation, and it was covering the talents of John Bonham and his drumming style. And in that, there was just a couple of little lines of a reggae tune, and it was going doom 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 doom. The light in your eyes are always shining. That's what I remember. And then it sped up a little bit, and it got into like a calypso thing. I only got bits and pieces of it. That's the song I was expecting. But here we are, another reggae style song. So obviously they made a bunch of reggae style rock songs, I guess, or maybe a few, I don't know. But that's the song I was expecting. But here we are with this other reggae rock song, which is really, really cool. So what's the name of that song that I'm thinking of? And what album is it on? Do you know what I'm talking about? Down, 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 down. And the light in your eyes are always shining, or something like that, he said. Let me know what song that is and where it is. That was the polyphonic reggae type song that I took a note of. Anyway, back to this song, man. Jamaica. Fantastic song. Shows their great talent, their great diversity, and all that is present and great about Led Zeppelin. Even has their thunder in there, more in a little bit of a mild form. It's like a soft rolling thunder, but still that signature Led Zeppelin. Fantastic, man. Fantastic. The only negative about this song is that it could have been extended a little bit longer. What was it, like 3 minutes? You extend this to 6 or 7 minutes, now you've got a fantastic party jamming song, something you can dance to. Can you imagine being at a party, this comes on, and you are dancing to this? The lady that you're dancing with, she is having a good ass time to this song, let me tell you. That's what I'm visualizing. You know what's going on my party list. Alright, man. Let's do a little read. Excuse me, my throat's making noise. Let's do a quick read on the band, and then a little bit on the song, whatever information Wikipedia can provide, and we'll go from there, man. So, here we go. Apologies for my loud-ass neighbors, they're up already. 5 in the morning, man. Sleep in, jeez. Okay, so Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin were an English rock band formed in London in 1968. The group consisted of guitarist Jimmy Page, singer Robert Plant, bassist and keyboardist John Paul Jones, and drummer John Bonham. The band's heavy guitar-driven sound has led them to be cited as one of the progenitors of heavy metal. Their style drew from a wide variety of influences, including blues, psychedelia, and folk music. Led Zeppelin are widely considered one of the most successful, innovative, and influential rock groups in history. Yeah, capitalized innovative in regards to this song. They're one of the best-selling music artists in the history of audio recording. Various sources estimate the group's record sales at 200 to 300 million units worldwide. With RIAA certified sales of 111.5 million units, they are the third best-selling band in the US. They were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1995. The museum's biography of the band states that they were as influential during the 1970s as the Beatles were during the 1960s. An astounding accomplishment. So, Jamaica. Jamaica is a song by English rock band Led Zeppelin from their 1973 album Houses of the Holy. The title is a play on the word Jamaica when spoken in an English accent. Overview. This song was meant to imitate reggae and its dub derivative emerging from Jamaica in the early 1970s. Its genesis is traced to Led Zeppelin's rehearsals at Stargroves in 1972, when drummer John Bonham started with a beat similar to 1950s doo-wop, and then twisted it into a slight offbeat tempo, upon which a reggae influence emerged. The distinctive drum sound was created by placing 3 microphones a good distance away from Bonham's drums. Yo, man. Just a simple act like that. You want to talk about innovation back then? Just something as simple as that just adds so much essence to an already talented drummer's repertoire. I believe that they did something similar with When the Levee Breaks, my pop's favorite Led Zeppelin track. Alright, this track, as well as another song entitled The Crunch, was initially not taken seriously by many listeners, and some critics reserved their harshest criticism for these 2 arrangements. In an interview he gave in 1977, Jimmy Page referred to this negative response, quote, "I didn't expect people not to get it. I thought it was pretty obvious. The song itself was a cross between reggae and a 50s number, Poor Little Fool, Benny King's Things, stuff like that," unquote. Led Zeppelin bassist John Paul Jones has expressed his distaste for the song, suggesting that it started off as a studio joke and was not thought through carefully enough. Yo, brother, even though it started off as a joke and you didn't really put a lot of creative essence into it, it speaks very, very highly of your respective talents regardless. Upon the album's release, Robert Plant was keen to issue the track as a single in the UK. Atlantic Records went so far as to distribute advanced promotional copies to DJs, now valuable collector's items. While it was released in the US and the single peaked at number 20 on the 29th of December in 73, it was never released in the UK. This song was never performed live in its entirety at Led Zeppelin concerts, although snatches of it were playing during Whole Lotta Love during the 1975 North American concert tour and Communication Breakdown at the Earl's Court shows in the same year. Jamaica is one of the few Led Zeppelin songs where all 4 members share the composer credit. The sleeve on the first album, Pressing, also gives tribute to Rosie and the Originals, a reference to the doo-wop influence in the song's style. Yo, they got a lot to say about this song, man. Pronunciation of the song title. In a 2005 interview, Plant discussed the different interpretations and pronunciations of the name of the song. He explained that the title is derived from an old joke where 2 friends have the following exchange, quote, "My wife's gone to the West Indies. Jamaica?" Which is an English accent, sounds like, "Did you make her?" Jamaica? No, she wanted to go. The title, which appears nowhere in the lyrics, was chosen because it reflects reggae feel of the song. It was an example of the Led Zeppelin band members' sense of humor. Because of the unfamiliarity of listeners to this backstory, DJs and fans often mispronounce the title as Dire Maker. This confusion and mispronunciation was more common in the US than in Britain, according to Jimmy Page. Reception and legacy. In a contemporary review of Houses of the Holy, Gordon Fletcher of Rolling Stone gave Jamaica a negative review, calling it a naked imitation, along with the crunch, as well as easily one of the worst things the band has ever attempted. Fletcher further wrote the track is a pathetic stab at reggae that would probably get the Zepp laughed off the island if they bothered playing it in Jamaica. Fletcher ended by writing the track is obnoxiously heavy-handed and totally devoid of the native form's sensibilities. Yo. Let's keep reading, man. Axl Rose cited it as a song that meant a lot to him as a teenager. Quote, "That got me into heavy rock," unquote. It is included on the Radio Caroline Top 500 Tracks of 1999 at number 453. Wow. It's still making influences even in 1999. And it was produced in 1973. Hey. Yeah, and it's on the Radio Caroline. Okay, so it's probably, Radio Caroline is like a satellite party, rock party kind of channel? Something like that, I'm guessing. Okay, man. Before I forget my thought, let's go back to this Rolling Stone guy real quick. I can appreciate what critics have to say. They have to hit music from all different angles and from different perspectives. And where it comes to music, it's open for interpretation. Everyone's got their own spin on things. Everyone's got their own level of understanding and appreciation and all of that sort of thing. There's a million people and every single person will have a different opinion. I get that. You can not like this song, and I totally understand. One thing that will stand out to me about this song, despite what anyone says, whether they hate it or they like it, is showcasing again their diversity, their creativity, their far-reaching way of sourcing and putting together and creating something really, really excellent. If you don't like the song, you definitely have to applaud and respect their creativity. Again, I'm going to echo the same thing I said before. How many artists out there, especially in this day and age, wish that they had the creative faculties to create something like this? You know what I'm saying? So you may like the song, you may not. Now, you know what? I'm going to put the crunch into the same category. You know, personally, of course, with me, I like the song, but not enough to, really embrace it. But I really, really appreciate how they came about creating the song, what went into it, their creative diversity, their sourcing, it's got that James Brown, great jamming feel to it. All of these different things have to be respected and applauded. I'm sorry, but what stands out to me most here is their great creative diversity. Another thing too is, even though this has a reggae beat to it, it still maintains the Led Zeppelin signature sound. It stays on the side of rock. And I know that at some point in time, somebody, probably Jimmy Page, said, this is how we're going to construct the skeleton of this song so that it's still classified as a rock song first with a reggae beat afterwards. Just like with what Clapton did with I Shot the Sheriff. Initially, that song was, of course, a Bob Marley song, but he turned it into a rock song first with a reggae appeal after. Jimmy Page did the exact same thing with this song. It's a rock song. It's still on the side of rock more than it is on the side of reggae. And that took some great creative foresight, maneuvering, and engineering to keep it on the side of rock more. So what stands out to me on top of everything else is the way these guys are so flexible with their creativity. Love that about them. And that is the thing overall that makes me such a big Led Zeppelin fan now, that has me stunned still to this day, 5 albums later. And always going back to my initial assumptions about Led Zeppelin. Yeah, I'm familiar with them. Yeah, I know their 5 mainstay kind of hits that everybody knows. Man, had I not looked further, I would have been missing all of this stuff, so I came so close to just, looking past it. Well, I looked past them. I visualized, okay, I'm doing a quad, maybe 2 quads of Led Zeppelin, and then I'm done, right? A year later, here I am a year later. I'm only halfway through their stuff. And holy cow, was I ever wrong about that? I make these assumptions sometimes, but that's another discussion. So, oh yeah, speaking of assumptions, man, let me give you an update on my life's perspective, and especially in regards to my friends. I started this channel 11 months ago, and when I started doing classic rock songs, the most judgmental people weren't subscribers and the viewer base on YouTube saying, what the hell are you doing that for? You're a black guy reacting to classic rock. How stupid is that? I didn't hear that from the subscriber base and the viewership. I heard that from my friends. I heard that from a lot of my R&B friends. And it got to the point where I wasn't even getting invited to certain parties anymore, that sort of thing. Anyway, 11 months later, they're not talking anymore. They're not echoing any kind of negative or giving me any kind of a look, or anything like that. You know why? Because even though they won't admit it, they're following my journey. They're watching, they're listening. And you watch and you listen this long, an impression is made upon you. If you're still watching and listening after 11 months, you are now a fan of not only the body of Led Zeppelin's work thus far, but also a body more encompassing of classic rock. Because, I try to diversify, and I'm still fresh out the chute, really. I haven't even gotten to Queen yet, you know what I'm saying? So my friends now aren't saying anything at all. They're silent, and they're silent because they have a newfound respect and appreciation for classic rock, especially Led Zeppelin, especially Black Sabbath. And now I have certain friends that I actually link my Black Sabbath reactions to. A lot of people were saying about Black Sabbath, they're, they might be devil worshippers or, negative, stupid things like that. And I had a really, really serious confrontation a couple of weeks ago with a buddy's mom. And so now she's silent too. And I link her my all of my Black Sabbath reactions. Be quiet, pay attention, and just listen, right? She's an orthodox kind of Christian person, and so they have their opinions, and they're never wrong, that sort of thing. Anyway, all of these people are silent, right? So that is the power of the great musicianship, the great artistry, the great creativity of these great bands, especially Led Zeppelin. And they have proven everybody wrong. And in my life and my circle of friends and people and whatnot, the hardest, most staunchest kind of judgmental people, they've all fallen silent. And now they have to bite their tongue. So these critics here, going back to Rolling Stone, here's my question. So many decades later, where are they at in regards to their judgment? I mean, this was pretty harsh. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, of course, their own misguided dumbass opinions, but all the same, we live in a nice free world, so we can afford to be deliberately ignorant sometimes. But hey, where are they now with their point of view of Led Zeppelin. A lot of you who have been around for a really long time and know your rock history, you're going to know the answer to this question. Where are they now? Have they changed their tune? That sort of thing. Give me an update as to what critics, especially former Rolling Stones critics, now think of Led Zeppelin, especially after harsh reviews like this. It's intriguing to me. Anyway, man, hey, I'm doing a lot of talking, man. Let me give you an example of what I've got coming up. I mentioned Queen. I've got a Queen quad reaction coming within a week. Queen and Deep Purple were like neck and neck for Artist of the Month for July. So Deep Purple pulled it out by 2 votes at the last minute. But at the same time, though, I know Queen is going to make Artist of the Month sometime. In the meantime, let's do a quad reaction for Queen. I've got Janis Joplin coming up, and she is going to be kicking off my Gone Too Soon series. And thank you very much for some of you who were dropping me some great suggestions. Janis Joplin, of course, you know, the Jimi Hendrix, the Jim Morrisons. Duane Allman is a very big one. And Randy Rhoads recently. Randy Rhoads, I believe, is the young guitarist for Ozzy Osbourne, his post-Black Sabbath years. And Randy died just as young as Tommy Bolin. I think they were both 25. So some great suggestions. And thank you very much. I haven't even actually started shooting for the series yet, but I've got some excellent recommendations. So keep those recommendations coming. I have a feeling that this series is going to be probably one of the biggest ones. So Deep Purple, of course, is Artist of the Month, and I've got another Deep Purple reaction in the works. I'm going to stick to the Mark II lineup for the next couple of reactions, only because they were the biggest lineup and they covered the most amount of material. So I'll stick with them for a couple of more reactions before I move on to the other lineups. And that is my reaction to Jamaica, man. Great song, shows their great diversity. I like it very much, and it's a great credit to their great creative element, and I give them all the props in the world for even attempting to change things up. You know, when you look at changing things up, sometimes it doesn't work for you. I mean, how much nerve did it take for them to produce Led Zeppelin 3, knowing that they might suffer a lot of backlash because they were changing their sound from their hard rocking blues signature to something lighter and more folksy. And again, here we go again with something like this. I don't know how many reggae style songs they've got, but I'm definitely looking forward to checking them out as we go along. Anyway, man, I've talked enough. I'm going to shut up and bounce. Thanks very much for checking this out. I hope you like my reaction, and let me know what you think about Led Zeppelin's diversity and the way they can change things up, and give me a heads up as to what I can expect down the road from them. I don't know if they've covered anything jazzy, but I know, based on what some people have told me, they've even got a country sound, and they've got a couple of other psychedelic type sounds. So I'm looking forward to that, man. I'm looking forward. Anyway, thanks, have a good day, and I'll catch you in my next Zeppelin reaction. Peace.